You might be wondering why the heat has so much hit the country for the better part of the recent past months up until now. Well, there might be answers. In our tour to the Kenya Meteorological Department headquarters in the capital, Nairobi, Met Assistant Director David Koros points out that the current heat is as a result of the equinox, which occurs at a time when the sun is overhead the equator, hence nearer to the earth. This year's equinox seems to have been worsened by the global warming that has seen temperatures shoot up in recent years. But what else?
There's a lot of heat here because of the development that we have been seeing. But you see now, when if you remove maybe trees and maybe vegetation and something, then you replace with other things. You see the atmosphere will not be balancing.
Kenya's drought situation has been induced by climate change, which has increased the amount and frequency of extreme weather conditions. The effects of climate change have altered the amount, distribution, timing, and quality of available water over time, which for some are attributed with how trees have been cut in the capital city, specifically to pave way for roads and infrastructure. For instance, along the 27-kilometer stretch of the Nairobi Expressway, which will be a toll highway linking the capital's economic center to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport with a series of interchanges and exits, at least 3,000 trees will have to be replanted, given that during the implementation of the project, 2,500 trees were cut down, 4,000 according to environmentalist estimates, with a serious loss of biodiversity in the metropolis.
So when you clear all those vegetation, be it trees and side things, you tend to interfere with balancing of the atmosphere, because trees normally just trap and balances the oxygen and the carbon dioxide at night. So you are just only leaving one component of the air, and it will likely affect the ozone layer and among other things. So with the development that we are having, is secondly affected in one way or the other.
According to a 2017 report, in 18 years, Nairobi has lost 22% of its green space to make way for buildings and roads. An assessment by environmental groups estimates that one-third of the capital's nature has disappeared to date. During the last 2 decades of the 21st century, Kenya's rate of deforestation has remained consistent. The first decade of the century experienced 2,914.55 hectares in primary forest lost and 19,401 hectares lost in tree cover, while the second decade of the century has experienced a total of 2,099.74 hectares lost in primary forest and 17,167 hectares lost in tree cover. With the situation seemingly getting out of hand, I inquire of what the government has done to help the climate change situation.
There's ongoing discussion, conversation, not only in Kenya, even international. There is Interpanel Climate, IPCC, which they normally is an UN body under through WMO, World Meteorological Organization. They are advocating of increasing the tree cover. And the government at the moment has a policy to at least increase the tree cover to 10% by the year 2022.
But by the time the weatherman tells you the state of the weather or signs to look out for, several procedures will have been put in place, that which of course I brace myself for a weather class.
So where you have yellow, it has a lower moisture content. And this one is on Friday. That's why I was saying on Friday, we expect to have some good coverage in terms of the moisture. And when we look at the winds, how are the winds? So we look at the winds are decelerating around here. So and it's likely to spill over. Here it's Nairobi because this one is map of Kenya. So it's likely to spill over to that area of here. But it will over the western part of Kenya.
According to the weatherman, several parts of the country are expected to receive rainfall in the next few days, which might just come in time as well for farmers.
The long rainfall that we are expecting could be almost like an average over a long period of time climatologically. So therefore, people must prepare for this. We have to prepare when we say now we are likely to have rain. And when we are getting some rain, sometimes this rain could be in a day, could be high. So that sometimes we issue warning.
The country has experienced poor to no rains in a couple of months, now leading to depreciation of various sectors, including agriculture. However, this is expected to take a better turn in a couple of weeks. Anodida, KUTV, Nairobi.